What's up, Builders Club TV Nation? You got Dewan Jones here, your professional stay-at-home dad. And man, I am fired up when I tell you I am so excited. Tonight, the guest that we have here, entrepreneur, home business mentor, international speaker, trainer, coach to many, literally helping or has helped thousands of people in his illustrious career. We have the iconic Randy Schroeder on the show tonight, family. Man, we're going to get an opportunity to speak with him and talk to him about his journey and learn as much as we can along the way. You know how we do it, family. Let me get myself on camera so that I can speak to you directly. And as always, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for sharing the platform with your team, with your friends, with your family, or anyone who's engaged in this home business industry and out there building the dream. Again, this is for the culture. This is, again, our very own Tonight Show featuring the amazing stories of some of the most, elite, spectacular individuals inside this home business industry, helping a lot of people win big. And we have an individual, speaking of winning big, helping a lot of people do just that. Let's make sure we got him on with this. Randy, can you hear me okay, man? Awesome, man. We're excited to have you here. Let's get you on camera so the family can see you, man, and we can talk to you a little bit. There you go. What's going on, man?
Everything's good. I'm here in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and happy to chat with you and with your audience this evening.
Awesome, man. You're in the beautiful Dubai. We see a lot of pictures of this amazing place, man. You've been there before? This is your first time, or you've been there many times?
I've been here before. I actually had the wonderful experience back in 2013 in the direct selling industry, which I'm a part of. There's actually a sort of like an Emmy or an Oscar. And in 2013, I actually received the quote Networker of the Year award here in Dubai. And so I have warm memories of this place, and it's fun to be back.
Wow. See, these are the type of things that every networker dreams of, to, receive the Networker of the Year award in Dubai. It's one thing to receive the award, but to receive it in such an amazing place just turns it up a little bit more. So congratulations on that. But man, you've been able to achieve a lot of great things in your career and been in the industry for a while. So, we have a lot to talk to you about because you've seen the ebbs and flows of this industry. You've seen the evolution, the changes, things that were happening then versus things that are happening now. So you're one of the most qualified people we can speak to. And again, our audience, of course, is a growing family of entrepreneurs in the home business space that are looking to build the dream for their family. So we appreciate you coming on, having the opportunity to speak to someone like you of your caliber. We just get an opportunity to learn a lot. So we're here with pen and pad today, man, or tonight, man, to talk with you. So on our show, if you've seen the show a little bit, we have what we call the Builders Club TV Time Machine. And we like to throw our guests inside of the Builders Club TV Time Machine because we like to go back and dissect the history and the path to success, because we've learned so far, speaking to so many people like yourself, there's so much to learn in your past. There's so much to learn in your history. So we can do that, man. If we can go back into your past, will you tell us, Randy, before the success, right? What was life like before the success in the network marketing industry?
I'm going to spin the clock back even further than you might have guessed. And I would have done that I didn't know about the time machine, but it's where I would have gone anyway, because it's foundational to my success, not just in direct selling, but in life. And it goes clear back to when I was a child. I was raised in a family that didn't have money. I was raised in an environment where there wasn't advantage or privilege. And in fact, I thought I was raised in poverty until in times later in my life, I've worked in India and I've worked in some of the outside parts of the Philippines where true poverty exists. And I was not raised in poverty. I was raised in a house with a father who was an alcoholic and who never got sober. And there was a resulting very inefficient allocation of assets. But the point is that the bills weren't paid. The telephone was frequently disconnected if we had one. The lights were disconnected. And all I remember is constant discord between my parents, not about money, but about the lack of money and the fact that the bills weren't paid. And I remember, Duan, one of the life experience, other people had things we didn't have. And I made an incorrect jump across a bridge, an imaginary bridge. And I thought because we didn't have what other people had, that we weren't as good as other people were. And so I started with a really, really not correct self-esteem, very insecure. And I remember the first time that I felt real peer pressure, I was in third grade. That's how far back I spin this. I go back to third grade, and I saw that the quote cool kids, the kids that I wanted to be like, were wearing Levi's brand jeans. And I came home, I said, Mom, I want Levi's jeans. And she said, well, Randy, how much do they cost? And when I told her, she said, that's too much. And I remember only a few days later, I went to school and the kids that I wanted to be like were wearing Converse brand sneakers. I said, Mom, I want Converse sneakers. She asked me how much they cost. When I told her, she said, that's too much. And believe it or not, I made a decision in third grade that I would not live a life ruled by the questions of how much does it cost, and that the answer must never be that's too much. Now, Dewan, as life has gone on, today what I've come to realize is that that desire that I had to fit in was itself not healthy. Today, I don't dress to please other people. I've become finally comfortable in my own skin, and I don't have to fit in. But that insecurity, born of financial scarcity of my parents, created in me an intense need to fit in. And I simply had to have the things that other people had, or I couldn't rest. And frankly, that desire to not have to ask how much it costs is rooted in me from the earliest memory, and the decision that I made at a very young age to eliminate financial scarcity from my life has been a principal driving force in my every financial success. And then later on, I had to learn that financial success does not equate to life success. And so there had to be a coming together. But it was, Dewan, for me, it goes clear back to the very, very earliest moments in time when I had an almost searing pain of feeling like I wasn't enough because our family couldn't provide. And so I created solutions where I could have financial resources. And then over time, learned there had to be more to it. But that's a starting place for me.
Right. That's amazing. You said something that's pretty good. I want to dissect because I think it's important. You said financial success isn't the same thing as life success. In this industry, we see a lot of chasing the monetary goal, right? Or the material goal, right? But for someone like you, because again, you might be the most qualified person to answer this because you've had the incredible dream worthy success, multiple millions of dollars in results in your business, right? But after doing all that, you probably have some perspective, right? Now, when you see a lot of people chasing the monetary goals and the material goals, and even see people promoting that, tell us, what is it that, in order to really have success in this industry, what is it that you should really focus on? What should a person really be chasing in order to achieve the success that you've had?
Well, I'll tell you another life experience, another story. It took me years, that problem that I described of needing to have, because I was concerned of what other people thought of me, that persisted well into my life. And it was well after I began making enormous amounts of money that I finally realized that wasn't going to solve the problem. I remember there's this illustration I've given you of absolutely not refusing to have to ask how much it costs and being willing to do whatever it takes to eliminate that financial scarcity. That persisted well into my years of success. And there came a time, it was in 1996, actually, I remember it very, very clearly, when I, for the first time, bought an exotic car. I bought a Lamborghini, and I ordered the Lamborghini from the factory in Italy. And as I went through the ordering process, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I described it all. And when it was all said and done, the person, the representative in Detroit who was helping me place the order said, well, Mr. Schroeder, would you like to know what all this costs? And I said, no, thank God I don't. I don't want to know how much it costs because It doesn't matter. And I thought that would make me happy. And I got the Lamborghini. And you know what? 6 months later, I was the same miserable guy driving a Lamborghini as I was 6 months before without the Lamborghini. All it was that week's or that month's medicine, so that people, when I pulled in the valet, would say, wow, look what Randy's got. See, here's what I now know, Dewan. What I really want is to be more happy more of the time. What I really want is to be comfortable in my skin. What I really want is to have a sense of peace and ease and comfort. Now, I will tell you that I don't find fault with those who pursue financial gain. I still do. I wouldn't be in Dubai today were I not continuing to pursue financial gain. However, that pursuit of financial gain now fits within an overall framework. It's one of the things that is important to me. Money does not solve the problems in life. I, in fact, was as unhappy with money as I was without it. Money doesn't solve the problems. However, financial scarcity exacerbates or compounds every other problem we have in our life. And so I'm a complete, total advocate of doing that which is required to eliminate financial scarcity, so long as that which we do is something that is a worthy project, such that our success is more than the successes of other people. There has to be an overall goodness to it. But today, for me, it's very, very simple. Do I want a Lamborghini? No. If I wanted one, I'd buy one. What I really want is to be more happy more of the time. And so that's a combination of, it's really financial security. Most importantly, it's a sense of peace and ease and comfort that the way I lived my life today doesn't require that I make any apologies tomorrow.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Speaking of perspective, and I'm glad that we have someone like yourself on, because we get to ask those really hard questions, right? A lot of times you see people, moving from company to company, not staying focused on the goal, creating these false expectations for what it is they're trying to achieve. But you being around for so long and then finally having the results that you've been able to have, give us some perspective on that in terms, because people will join a business and then they'll quit after 4 months if it's not successful. But you've been in this 30 plus, you know what I mean? Years.
30 years.
And 30 years, right? And you've had the success, so now you can look from a different vantage point and kind of tell us, okay, how should we really look at this in terms of time that it's going to take to become successful?
Okay, so here is the great questions, by the way. If I meet and interact with a brand new person who has not yet had their first financial breakthrough, if a person's never made money yet, see, there's a set of basic behaviors that are required to have financial success in any environment.
Wow.
And so if I meet a person who has already had their first financial breakthrough, then they've got, as a result of that first financial breakthrough, and by the way, a financial breakthrough means different things to different people. For some folks who the biggest income year was $25,000, making 40 is a financial breakthrough, right? So it depends on who we are, where we're starting. But until you've had your first financial breakthrough and you've had the poise and so on that comes along with that, if a person joins me who has never had that yet, then I tell them the truth. You're going to need to develop different thought patterns, different ways of viewing everything about you. You will have to have a personal growth experience before you can get the key in the lock of our compensation plan in any meaningful way. And that's the truth, right? The truth is the truth, and it's good enough. And sometimes the truth is convenient and sometimes it's inconvenient. Now, if I meet a person who's already learned, they've already had their first financial success, they've made something over 6 figures in a year, and they have with it the confidence and the circle of influence, all that goes along with that, the skills they had to develop to have the first success, I can show them how to get the key in the lock pretty quickly. But the majority of people that I work with are people for whom their experience with me is their first success, not an add-on or a continued success. And so I'm very, very cautious, and I tell people what the real truth is. I like the dream. And by the way, we should quantify this. You referenced that I've been around for a long time. I have. I've been in the industry for 30 years, and a perfect network marketing career would be one where one selects a company and they stay with it through thick and thin, good and bad. They're there for life. Right. So my career is it's not perfect. It's an imperfect career from that perspective. And I'll be as brief as I can, but I'll quickly describe it to you. I got involved first with Nu Skin. And when I got involved with that company, it was only about 10 months after I got involved. They were sued by the Federal Trade Commission. They were accused of being a pyramid scheme. They were shut down in 7 states. Now, they won that litigation, and that litigation has become foundational to our entire industry today. But I was doing it full time. I had left my job. It was not difficult. It was impossible to recruit, and I just didn't have the staying power. I had to do something else. And so I couldn't wait for them to win. And of course, I didn't know if they would or if they would not, but I couldn't wait.
Right.
And so I got involved with a company called Rexall Showcase, and I had one of the most amazing experiences anyone's ever had in network marketing. In the next 10 years, I earned over $17 million in commissions. The last 3 years, over $3 million each of those years. I earned $5 million in the company stock program. And when after that decade, the company decided they were going to sell, I wasn't happy with the acquiring entity.
Right.
And so I sold my distributorship for $7 million more. I mean, an investor wrote me a check, $7 million for my distributorship. That wow. Because of the quality of income that was there. That because of the solid base of auto ships and so on. And to my knowledge, that's never happened before or since in the direct selling industry. So that was a breakthrough for me. That was, I entered the direct selling industry in no longer the kind of financial scarcity that I was raised in. I had become quite successful as a stockbroker, but I was spending 110% of what I earned. So even though I'd already made money in the past, I hadn't yet learned. There's a difference in there is a big difference in making money and having money. And there's another big difference in having money and creating wealth. So by the time I got in the network marketing industry, I'd already learned how to make money, but I had not learned how to have money. And I certainly hadn't learned how to create wealth. And that was a process that went on and took me quite some number of years. I then had a non-compete agreement because I sold my distributorship. And so for the next 3 years, I lived in China, mostly in China. I went back and forth to the United States. I was not a distributor, but a consultant for a large, really, really great company called Sunrider. And while there, I developed a new set of skills, working in a culture that was totally different from mine. I gained a new appreciation for the way that other people see and live and experience life. And my overall life experience was broadened incredibly by that. When the non-compete expired, I became a distributor again, rose very, very quickly through at Monavie, earned over $1 million my second year there, over $2 million my third year, and was then asked to become the president of the company, which I did. And so for 4 years, I was the president of a large direct selling company, and I got to see it from the inside. And that once again rounded out my thought process of what this industry really is about, what's good, what's bad, what the challenges are. And then when it again became clear that the company was going to sell, I again was not enthused about the acquiring entity. And so I left. This time I didn't sell my distributorship, though I was earning over $1 million a year at the time. I didn't sell it. I just walked away from it because I didn't want to non-compete. And some people said, Randy, are you insane? You're making 7 figures a year and you're simply going to resign it. No, I wasn't insane. If I know how to do this, then I can do it where I want to do it. If I know how, if I've developed the skills and I know exactly what is required to succeed, then I can select a company where I can apply those skills where I want to be. So Dewan, in a perfect world, I would have found one company and been there for my career. It's a 30-year long career and there have been some twists and turns. I'm very, very fortunate. I became a Canaway brand ambassador about 4 years ago, and this now is rapidly turning into my biggest success. But to finally get back to your answer, what should a person's expectations be? We should always only compare ourselves to ourselves. It took me a long time to realize that if I'm competing with anyone, that does not bring out the best behaviors in me, because then for me to win, somebody else has to lose. And so that doesn't bring out the best in me. Right. What I've learned instead is that I only compete with me. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be my very best, and I want my best to get better. And I believe that if my best gets better, that my greatest success can be in front of me. And I believe that's true of every other person. So to finally wind it down to your question, what should I tell a person their expectations are? If the largest income year of your life is $50,000, then if in direct selling, if over the course of the next 24 to 36 months, you're able to work steadily and consistently following a proven and predictable pattern of activities, if 36 months from now, you're able to replicate what your biggest career earnings have been up until now, I would call that a dramatic win. I would say that's fantastic. You won the game. Then once you've hit that level, once we get you in this industry to a place equaling or exceeding your past prior success, then we can look to new breakthroughs. And maybe I'll bring this down for you. Another way to think about this. When I got to direct selling, my biggest income year before that was $500,000. So as I indicated, I'd already learned how to make money before I became a network marketing distributor. I'd already gone through that refining process that one must go through. And my first year in network marketing, I earned 10% of what I earned as a stockbroker. My second year, I earned 30%. My third year, I earned 80%. My fourth year, I replaced my income as a stockbroker. And now for the last 25 years in a row, I've earned over $1 million annually, most years over 2 in the direct selling industry. But it took me 4 years to develop the skills and to become effective and efficient such that I could earn the same amount of money in network marketing that I was making before I got here. And so I'm always really careful. I don't ever tell someone that I think they can achieve something that I did not. I can show you how I achieved what I did, and maybe your outcome will be better, but I don't ever propose to somebody that they will accomplish something fantastic in the first year, because it's kind of rare.
Wow. This is amazing stuff, man. I want to switch gears real quick because I do want to ask you this. Now, network marketing in general, the landscape, right? When you think of the industry now, because you've seen it from different angles and different forms, and you've seen, again, the evolution of it, being involved with it as long as you have. So what do you think, or how do you see network marketing, home business now? And this is a 2-part question. what's the best thing that you like about it now, and what is it that you would like to see change?
Well, I will tell you that the internet, as we consider what's gone on in the business in the years that I've been involved, the internet has made it easier for people to make a little bit of money, and it's made it harder for them to make a lot. And I'll explain why that is. We really are in the leadership development business. You know, people, this pyramid shape that people will try to say is bad. No, it's not bad. It's delightful. If you build a structure that looks like this, you cannot knock it down. They've been standing in Egypt for 9,000 years. If you build this, it is solid. If you build this, that means that each next step forward, you've got more leaders who are conducting the process. You build this, you're good to go.
Isn't that amazing how people have been taught that's actually bad? But go ahead.
It is. I promise you this, folks. It's good. It is not bad. It is good. But in the internet era, most people are building V-shaped businesses. They're not building pyramid-shaped businesses. What do I mean by a V-shaped business? In my business model, it is my goal to cause a new person to learn, grow, develop, and become. That new person must become something greater than they were when they walked in the door if they're going to have a greater outcome. They have to become a leader. And one does not become a leader by having their guest get on somebody's Zoom call. One doesn't become a leader by sending somebody a link. One becomes a leader when he or she opens their home. They invite people in, they push play on the videos, and they are the host. The basic foundational activity of every large, successful, long-term direct selling company is home business review and private small group presentations. In the internet, and by the way, I have a dear friend that I'm here with in Dubai now. He's much, much younger than me. I think he's 32 years old, making stunning success, earning over $1 million a year, an amazing breakthrough he's had very early in life. And he calls me his old school friend. And I will tell you that I am the oldest of the old school, because until and unless somebody proves to me that you can do something other than what I do to get an outcome equal to or greater than mine, I will keep doing exactly what I've done for the last 29 years. And so you bet I am old school. I don't tell people they can avoid the basic business building behaviors by plugging somebody into an online session. I don't tell them that they can avoid doing things they may not want to do. And by the way, here's the key. I have never accomplished a single thing meaningful in my life by doing what I want to do. I must become willing to do things that I would prefer not to do. That's the truth. If we just do what we want to do, we're not going to get a breakthrough. We must become willing to do things that we would prefer not to do. And until unless we gain that willingness, then we won't do those things we'd rather not do. If we do the things we'd rather not do, then the end result is we develop skills that we didn't have before. When we develop skills and character attributes we didn't have before, suddenly getting the key in the lock becomes easy, where previously it had seemed impossible.
Wow.
To go back to your question, what I really believe is that the industry has changed in that today it is easier to make a little bit of money than it was 30 years ago. It's much more difficult to make a lot of money than it was 30 years ago, because the advent of the internet has caused people to stop doing the basic activities that cause new leadership to emerge. The same people are on stage month after month, year after year. It's that same handful of personalities that are floating the whole boat. A business that looks like this will tip over. It's not that it could, it will. A business is built like this, it'll stand forever. Whether the key leader comes or goes, no matter what happens. You build one that looks like this, it's here to stay.
Wow. Randy Schroeder, Builders Club TV family, I know your mind is blown just like mine. We got to have you back on the show, man. There's just too much to pick your brain about. So I know we can't do it in one session. So we definitely got to have you back on the show. Randy, will you go ahead and give out your social media, website, or anything like that? The family can get in touch if they like.
Of course. I'll even give you my email address. My email address is Randy Schroeder. It looks like Schroeder. It's Randy, SCHROEDER 1015. Now you all know my birthday, October 15th. Randy Schroeder 1015 at me.com. My website is randyschroeder.com. And by the way, I am an advocate for the entire direct selling industry. I do not think that our company or that where I am is the only good place. When I hear people saying that, I say, come on, guys, that's not the truth. There are always other good opportunities. So I'm an advocate for the entire direct selling industry. I believe that if any of you were to go to my training page, randyschroeder.com/training, and by the way, I want to tell you, I don't have anything to sell you. I don't offer a book that I charge you money for. I don't offer a tape that I charge you money for, a digital file. If I make it, I spend the money to make it. I give it to you free. 100% of my success is tied to the success of other people in the compensation plan. And if people succeed away from me because of anything I might have helped them with, then that's great. The laws of the universe promise that there will be some long-term value in that for me as well. Connect with me on Randy Schroeder. On my Facebook page is just Randy Schroeder. I also have a business page that's Randy Schroeder if I happen to be out of friends or out of friend space. But if you'll go to randyschroeder.com/training, there you'll find a pretty extensive library. And the things that are taught there would correctly apply to your business if you're in direct selling. They would correctly apply to your business. So when you hear me say our company Canaway, 90% of what I say there, you could plug your company's name into it instead, assuming it's a company that has basic values. You know, not every company would fit in the mold, but if it is a good, legitimate company that is positioning itself for long-term growth, you could replace the name Canaway with the name of your company and you'd find value there. And I invite you to do that. Go to randyschroeder.com, randyschroeder.com/training, and anything I can do to help any of you anywhere along the way, I'd love to do it. Juan, thanks for having me on.
Man, absolutely. And thank you for coming on. In fact, we won't let you get away that easy because we got to have you back on. Like I said, there's so much still we want to pull from you, man, and ask you. We're actually working on a new series behind the scenes, Randy. It's called A Day in the Life. And it's actually the lifestyles of the rich and famous for network marketing. And on this show, we're highlighting, the lifestyle, of course, but it's really lifestyle meets personal development where, we get this virtual field trip where we get to, talk with some of the most influential people in the industry. But we also get conversations like this and get some more of those golden nuggets thrown our way. So we definitely got to have you back for that, man. But before we let you go, we do want to play a game with you, man. We've been playing this game with our guests, and they've been absolutely crushing it. The family's been loving it, and we call it a word of advice with the mentor. The way that it works, man, is that we're going to give you a few words, Randy. I'm going to throw a few words at you, and you're going to give us back a word of advice using that word, or a word of advice based on that word. Does that make sense?
It does. In 1 second, I'm going to invite my wife and the little boy in here to just wave to everybody. We're going, hey, Samantha, come on and just wave to these folks. You there, babe? So you guys all know I'm traveling in Dubai, and because of the financial results that I've had in this business, I take my wife and my child with me. I don't leave them home. They come with me. They travel all over the world with me. And, it's one of the things. So here's Bosco. Bosco, wave to our friends.
Oh, man.
This is Bosco. Bosco is 2. This is Samantha.
So he has to be about 3 years old.
He's 2.5.
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Oh, man. He doesn't know what's going on. He knows that he's having a blast.
He knows that life is pretty good, and that's good. And guys, the one thing before I play your game, let me just add one more thing here, because this is important to people. When I first moved to California, I met a friend, and he said, Randy, the key is for you to learn how to surf. He said, you'll be happier if you learn how to surf. I said, well, I want to be happy. And so he took me out on a wave that was on a day that was kind of a big wave day. It was too big. And the result was that when I finally caught a wave, it threw me under, kind of boiled me over. And then the turbulence, I couldn't get up. And I don't know how close I came to drowning that day, but I was afraid. And fear is not really, it takes quite a bit for me to get afraid. I was afraid. I didn't know if I was going to make it out of that situation. My lungs were full of water, salt water, and sand. And I remember how badly I wanted to draw the next breath. I wanted that next breath so badly. And when I meet a new person, what I tell them is this: not just when I got involved in network marketing, but from the earliest part of my life, I wanted to change my personal and financial outcome as badly as I wanted to breathe. Mm-hmm. And because I want to succeed as badly as I want to breathe, then nothing that I do is difficult because of how badly I want it. Mm. When I meet people who want it the way I want it, I know they'll succeed. When I meet people who seem somewhat lackadaisical and they're okay with the status quo, that's what's hard.
Okay, so I just had to take that in. So the first word that we have for you, man, is eliminate.
Eliminate. I made a decision long ago, and I invite you to the same, to eliminate those who would detract from your possibilities from success. Eliminate those who tell you that you can't. Eliminate those who tell you that you're not worth it. Eliminate those who say anything about you that would imply that you are not equal to, as good as every other human being that walks the earth. Eliminate that, and also eliminate your own limiting beliefs. And that's another whole section.
That's good stuff. The next word we have for you is pursuit. Pursuit. So I've been engaged aggressively in the pursuit of real success. Notice I've called it success, not just money. Engaged in the pursuit of real success for a long period of time. But it was only when I came to realize that my success was fully predicated on the successes of other people that my pursuit changed. I stopped pursuing individual targets for myself. I stopped pursuing claim and accolades, and I started instead being engaged in the active pursuit of successes for other people.
when I'm engaged in the pursuit of successes for other people, then the ultimate outcome shows up in my bank and other ways in my life. But when I changed it from a pursuit of personal reward to pursuit of gain for others, then my life got better.
Wow, that's good. The next word is doubt.
Doubt. I was raised in a world of people. And by the way, I need to say one more thing for you. And maybe you know this and maybe you don't. In the internet, there's really no secret anyway. Along the way, I described the fact earlier that I was born in a house with an alcoholic father who never got sober. And there is a genetic part of that. And ultimately, I became almost owned by drugs and alcohol. And in fact, at a time when people in the world perceived me as being at the absolute top of the game, I was arrested 3 times for cocaine possession. I've been in jail and I've been in prison, convicted of felonies. And as I was sitting in the Orleans Parish prison, I have to tell you that I, for the first time in my life, experienced a severe doubt about my possibilities for further success. I thought I had ruined it. It was really the first time that I experienced that. I thought I've ruined it. Nobody will trust me again. Nobody will respect me again. I've completely destroyed my life. And I had a doubt. And you know what? Doubt leads to discouragement. That is the truth. Doubt leads to discouragement. And I then had to engage in a series of what I call daily disciplines. I have a series of daily disciplines. Daily disciplines done daily build character. And I had to apply those daily disciplines to that doubt. And realizing that this is something I believe. I believe that absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. And so there must have been some grand plan that I couldn't understand. But when I stopped doubting and started believing, then I came to know that my greatest success could, and in fact has been, after that terrible chapter in my life.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Amazing. The next word we have for you is money.
Money. I've talked quite a bit about money already. When I do business presentations, what I always do is ask each person, who are they and why they're here? And by the way, when I do business presentations, the business is built, in my case, in groups of 3s and 5s and 7. That's where I build it. In my home, in their home, 3, 5, 7 people. When people see me standing on stage talking to hundreds or to thousands, then they sometimes guess that's where it's built. No, it's not. It is built in 3s, 5s, 7s. It is supported in the larger settings. And so I always ask each person, who are you and why are you here? And what I find is that life is interesting. People will tell me every intimate thing about their body. Man, I'm constipated. I've got menstrual cramps. I got all kinds of things they'll tell me. Most intimate details about their body. People, because of pride and ego and social norms, are hesitant to acknowledge that their financial boat is leaking or that it's just not working for them. And so I listen to all that other people say. And then I say, okay, I need you to understand who I am and why I'm here. I'm Randy Schroeder. I'm a demonstrated leader in the direct selling industry. I'm a husband and I'm a father and I'm a friend. I am here tonight because if we do this right together, we can make more money more quickly than we can make doing anything else. We can make it for the rest of our lives. And we can then use that to create an asset base to benefit other people. That's why I'm here.
Wow. The last word that we have for you, Randy, the final word is, and this is a good one, life.
Life. Let me tell you this, folks. Life is short and it is fleeting. I find myself at this fascinating part in my own life. I'm 62 years old and I've got a 2-year-old. And that has brought everything into clear, sharp focus for me. Now I can look back and I can see what I missed in the life of my other children. I had a child 40 years ago. And the truth is, I completely missed the joys that I'm experiencing with Bosco today. I took it for granted. I didn't pay attention to it. I had 5 children at an earlier part in my life, and I had no idea the joy that I was missing by failing to be present because I was so engaged in the pursuit of things that would not make me happy. Today, I have complete understanding of what makes me happy. Financial scarcity would rob some of my joy. And so I do that which is required to keep financial scarcity out of my life. But what makes me happy is that when my little boy says it's 11:30 here at night, but the sleeping zones are off, and so right after we finish this, what makes me happy is that I'm present to hear that, and then I'm going to take him out to a nighttime playground and play with him. That's what makes me happy. What makes me happy is that I am present and I hear what other people say, and I don't get conflicted about what really floats my boat.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. Well, as expected, you totally crushed that, man. Again, we definitely appreciate you coming on to the show, and we definitely got to have you back. So many powerful words for us tonight, and we look forward to hearing more. There you have it, Builders Club TV family. Randy Schroeder. We'll see you next time, family. Peace.
Really my pleasure, Dewan. Thank you for having me.